Welcome back to MotoAmerica Stock 1000, the next class that will get out to the racetrack for race number 1 here at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. You can see all the fans that are on hand to watch Superbikes at Road Atlanta, 5 different categories here at the racetrack. We just wrapped up the first race of the weekend. That was Mission Super Hooligan. We now shift gears and get ready for Stock 1000, the opening race of the 2025 championship season for all of the competitors out here on the stock machinery. Full field of competitors came out this weekend. We had 41 bikes in total that went out for qualifying. We're going to have 11 rows of competition once we get everybody out there. Welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Jamie Howe, joined by Roger Hayden. And Roger, the first race of a championship season, we've got new riders with new teams, so you have new bikes that are out there on the grid. There's a lot to look forward to here in Stock 1000.
Yeah, I'm being the first race of the year. There's so much unknown. We've had practice and qualifying, but once you go racing, some riders are a little bit better in the races than they are in the qualifying. And as you said, new riders in the class. We've had riders switching teams and riders coming back for their second year who we feel like should be title contenders, and we're going to find out today.
See Rocco Landers there aboard the number 97. It's his first race in the Stock 1000 category, moving up to the bigger bike, getting to stay with Revzilla, Vance and Hines Racing, giving him this opportunity, adding on to his run that he's already started off this season with Mission King of the Baggers. So first doubleheader weekend for him here this season. You see the number 36 there also, Jason Uribe, aboard the BMW, having a new teammate for the season, Andrew Lee, who is our pole sitter.
And also new track record for Andrew Lee. So we knew he had the talent. He's won the stock title a couple years ago, 2 times in a row, and now he's kind of come back full-time this year with a really good team, Orange Cat, and looks like he's going to try to add a 3rd title.
See the green flag waving now at the exit of pit lane. All of the riders now being given the opportunity to exit pit lane for this sighting lap. They'll make their way around and find their position on the grid.
MotoAmerica Stock 1000 coverage is brought to you by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series, and by MotoAmerica Live Plus. Stream over 100 races per season and much more. Available on mobile, PC, connected TV, Roku, or Apple TV.
Great overhead shots from the drone camera of Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. You can see how green everything is. Clouds continuing to cover the racetrack, keeping the temperatures down for the time being. Track temperature has been pretty steady all day. Pretty similar to the conditions that we had for the second qualifying session earlier this morning for the Stock 1000 riders too, Roger.
Yeah, very close. The sun hasn't popped out today, so we've been watching the track temperature, and even the air temperature throughout the day hasn't went up or down a lot. So I think these riders kind of know what this track's going to be like.
It was a great qualifying session. Certainly expecting the same sort of competition out of the race right now. New track records, you mentioned it from our pole sitter earlier this morning in these conditions. It was a 1:26.0 for Andrew Lee, bettering the time that Corey Alexander had put down back in 2022. So a lot of growth in this category. As you see Rocco Landers riding around to his grid position. He qualified 7th. It's a quick start here for Stock 1000. What does that mean? Well, just one crew member can meet the rider out on the racetrack, out at their grid position. No other equipment. You can see they don't have anything else out there with them. All right, as they get into their positions, we'll take a look at the starting grid here. Andrew Lee, we already talked about our pole sitter alongside on row 1. Ashton Yates, great weekend so far for him, and then Jason Uribe in 3rd.
JD Beach, Stock 1000 this year on the Honda. Bryce Cornbow there 5th, and Taylor Knapp, good qualifying for Taylor there on the 2nd row.
All right, we go to row 3. There is Rocco Landers alongside him with Jason Waters and Isaiah Davis.
And then Dion Campbell, Christopher Durbin, and Joseph Giannotto.
Those are opening 4 rows. We mentioned it, there is a full field of Stock 1000 competitors, 10 rows in total out there today. Crew members already leaving their riders, everyone in position. So see a couple of open spots out there. It doesn't look like everyone was able to make the call for race number 1 here this weekend. They'll have another opportunity tomorrow as well. So riders now getting ready for their warm-up lap. Siding lap to warm-up lap, Roger, what's the difference?
Well, now you're going to add a little bit more speed to it, try to get a little more heat in the brakes, a little more heat into the tires as well, and kind of not go full speed, but just try to get a good feel and make sure everything's warmed up and ready for the race.
It's a good look at the field of competitors. So everybody off to the side making notes of who is not out there, who did not make it into their grid position. Jason Uribe, the number 36. All the riders waiting for the signal.
You can see they're all looking around. They are ready to go.
See the hands going up, confusion now. What is the delay? The riders looking around, asking, trying to figure it out. What do they need to start being concerned with in terms of machinery, Roger?
Just with these things could overheat. We already see one rider having a little bit of a problem. Now they're going to send them on.
He was able to pull off to the side. That was Trevor Watson. Keep an eye on it to see if he's able to get back underway while they come around. Roger, take us through this 2.5-mile racetrack.
Yeah, it's a really physical track, especially 2, 3, 4. Down into turn 5 where the bike likes to wheelie on the exit. Into turn 6, turn 7, get ready for that long drive on these stock 1000 bikes all the way through down to turn 10. Really hard braking for these guys into 10 with that top speed. And then up over turn 11, another little spot some riders have struggled with this weekend with wheelie down into turn 12.
It is a rider's favorite for many of the riders, but it's either a love it or a hate it kind of racetrack. It is a lot of physical work, as you mentioned, and as this warm-up lap continuing, I was just looking out the window as we saw that the number 800 of Trevor Watson not able to get it back under power, and you can see him obviously very upset with not being able to make the call for racing this afternoon. Talked about the fact that the weather is very consistent from the morning into the afternoon here with this cloud cover. Temperatures not going up. Track temperatures staying right there in the mid-70s at 77 degrees Fahrenheit right now, but it's really all about the clouds keeping that air temperature down as well, making it pretty comfortable for the riders.
And also it's getting a little bit more windy, so you have to be careful if the wind is behind you down that back straightaway, breaking down into turn 10.
The wind has picked up. It was about 4 miles an hour earlier today. You can see the breaking point down coming at the bottom of the hill. Sending the riders onto this long front straightaway. "12 laps, Roger. Stock 1000. Do we have to worry about the tire wear? Is 12 laps, is it short enough that it's going to become a factor?
On these big 1000s toward the end of the race, there's some people, and that's going to come down to bike setup. Who has the best setup those last 3 or 4 laps?
Another bike not being able to make the call. That was the number 96. But everyone else in their positions. You see the lights, the left-hand side of your screen. Lights are on. As soon as they go off, we are racing at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta, Stock 1000, race number 1 of the championship season. Our pole sitter with a good start, but I believe that was his teammate, Jason Uribe, with a better one.
Right there on the inside, was able to get a really good start and make it right past his teammate.
First race of the season. Everyone trying to settle into their positions, get comfortable around one another through practice and qualifying. We never have groups that are quite this big. That's a big incident here in the opening lap of this race.
It's like Taylor Knapp and maybe Bryce Prince possibly. Taylor Knapp for sure.
It's definitely a Bryce Prince motorcycle. See the corner worker very quickly there by his side.
It's really hard, that first section, so many riders. We've talked about how packed this grid is. Everybody's funneling down into that one little corner into two.
And the red flag is now being shown to the rest of the competitors. So this race will come to a stop. All of the riders will come down pit lane and find their teams while the safety workers get out to the riders that are affected and get them to safety and get them safely off of the racetrack. Take a couple looks here at what happened, Roger.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, Bryce just rear end stepped out right there. And I'm not sure what happened at the top of the hill, but for Bryce there, looks like out of turn 3, just lost a little bit of rear traction. And this is at the very top of the hill, right off the start. Not sure what happened to Taylor Knapp there. 2 separate incidents.
And 2 of these not together. You see Taylor Knapp with the marshals right now, and Bryce still being tended to.
It's unfortunate because both those riders, Bryce and Taylor, inside the top 6 in qualifying, and was having a really good weekend so far.
Now that the riders have made their way to pit lane, we are going to step away, take a quick break while this cleanup unfolds. We'll be back with you here from Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta, right after this.
Introducing Spectro Performance Oil's heavy-duty product line. Engineered not just for performance, but for endurance. Spectro offers leading engine, transmission, and brake fluid products, which are proudly made in the USA since 1966. Performance, reliability, quality, and tradition. Because every ride should feel as smooth as the first. Spectro Performance Oils.
It just kind of surpassed all my expectations as far as handling and actually rideability. It's really impressive.
This bike handles in the mountains like no other bike I've ever ridden.
Sport bike, American touring bike. It's a great hybrid of the two.
It sits down in the road. When you hit that throttle and you just take off for the sunset, it drops into that flow and you're gone.
I'm Jonathan with Motul Performance Lubricants. We're proud to be the official lubricant of the 2025 King of the Baggers Series with MotoAmerica. Deeply rooted in power sports, Motul has been a pioneer in oil technology, including the first multi-grade oil and the first fully synthetic motor oil in 1971.
My name is Dieter Michels. My position is technical expert within Motul Corporate Group. I'm based in Paris, France. You got to distinguish between the typical European architecture of a motorcycle engine and the American and English one. The European is one housing with the engine, clutch and transmission inside. In the European architecture, the oil has to do it all. On the American architecture, you could concentrate on each part and then create the best oil for exactly this application. And that's why we got, for the V-twins, we got 3 different oils. Engine oil, primary, and transmission.
Whether you own an American Big Twin, a small European scooter, a leader bike, or anything in between, Motul has you covered. So make sure you get down to your nearest dealer or retailer, shop motul.com, Determine what your best needs are, including our wide range of motorcycle care products, and be ready for your next ride with Motul.
We are back at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta for Stock 1000. You can see Jason Waters coming down pit lane and making heavy gestures towards his team. He needs some work.
I think the foot peg's off. See that? He has nowhere to put his left leg, so the foot peg is falling off somewhere.
All right, we're under red flag for this incident.
Fifth rider on screen there, Bryce Prince, early on, just the rear end stepped out like that. Jason Waters had to run off and avoid him, so maybe he actually tipped over somewhere or hit him with his foot peg, but he definitely was trying to let that crew know right away what he needed so they could start running back and get some parts.
You see Bryce very slow to get up there. You saw him hit his head on the front wheel of his motorcycle. There's groundbreaking technology that's being unveiled here this weekend at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta with MotoAmerica and the medical team, now using the Abbott Laboratories rapid concussion test, a blood test. We're the very first sports organization anywhere in the world to use this technology to be able to tell objectively whether a rider needs further evaluation following an injury like that. So while we're under red flag, let's go ahead and get down to pit lane with Joe.
Thank you. Yes, I am joined by our pole sitter, Andrew Lee. First time sitting up front since 2019. You get to do it again now. How does it feel to be starting the race at the top of the grid?
Yeah, it feels good. Got a good start. My teammate kind of made a better start and kind of started pulling away a little bit. So there's a little bit of change of game plans. We had a red flag and shorter race, so it's going to be a little bit more scrappy, which the fans will enjoy. So.
Indeed. And seeing what happened to Taylor Knapp and Bryce Prince, how gnarly is it, that first corner, the start of the race?
Yeah, I didn't get to see the incident. I hope they're both okay. But yeah, that first few corners, it's tight. Everyone's fighting for the same racetrack. So it's you just want to get through there clean.
Indeed. Let's move over here to your teammate, who is also in the front row, third on the grid. We know you want a little bit more than that, though. Did you learn a thing or two from that start? You seem to have gone off quite well there.
Yeah, I think we got a good start. We're going to try and do the same thing one more time. Andrew and I have a pretty good plan to try and attack this race, so I'm confident that we'll be able to bring it home in the box, and we'll just take it one lap at a time.
Excellent. Well, best of luck there out there. They're just gearing up now to restart. I think we've got a couple of minutes left. As mentioned, it is going to be a shorter race, so it could create some slightly different racing conditions.
Yeah, the strategy certainly changes now. We've heard from some of the competitors, Roger, a little more scrappy. I like the way that was put, but just 8 laps to get to the checkered flag here. They're going to have to be aggressive.
Going to have to be aggressive, not going to have a lot of time. You mentioned before the first start, talked about tire wear, tires going off. With less laps, less chance that happens.
This is Jason Waters. When we first came back from commercial break, we saw him signaling to the team that he needed some work to be done. All right, you can see here coming down the hill, there's the incident for Bryce Cornbow. Right behind him is that 92. That's Jason Waters. You can see him clip the bike. You can see the foot peg. That's where it comes off. Just
luckily you didn't hit his ankle there. And his team did a great job getting it changed really quick and getting him get back out there.
Red flag certainly giving them the time that they needed. You can see Jason already back aboard and heading towards the exit of pit lane. 8 laps, original grid position, so all of the riders will go back out. They'll do another sighting lap once pit lane opens, and they're able to get out to their grid position. And here he goes, green flag, Rocco Landers. This is not the first time we've seen this weekend, him being the first rider to exit pit lane and getting the clean racetrack in front of him. Families bringing their pets out this weekend. Lots of room to run around here at Michelin Raceway. Great place to come and watch racing.
Kind of seen there where Andrew and Jason kind of have a plan. I bet they're going to try to make a break and not dice each other up. Don't slow down their rhythm until the last couple laps, and then sort it out between the teammates. But man, racing's so hard. You come up with these plans going into the race, and you never know what happens when those lights go out.
So they're on the front row. Our pole sitter, Andrew Lee, also has his teammate who's starting in third, but right in the middle of them, Ashton Yates, who's been just as strong all weekend long. knowing that the two teammates are going to work together, how can he be defensive at the get-go?
Just not let him get away and be up there. And another name, JD Beach, I think going stock 1000. We've seen him out in the Superbike practices this weekend. Haven't seen him with the whole group. So he's going to be another guy that's going to, these are new people for him to race with, new names. So he's going to try to figure out where their strengths and weaknesses are as well.
No, that's a good point. Him not taking part in the stock 1000 practice or qualifying sessions, what kind of a disadvantage is that, not knowing the racing style or the riding style?
I think the big one is just not racing these guys before and going in and seeing who's aggressive and who's not, who's willing to stick their nose in there, and then you kind of know going forward how do you got to race each rider.
Did see on the sighting lap a couple corners ago the number 800 that we saw have the problems not making the grid the last time around. Trevor Watson, remember, he was upset. We saw him throw his gloves there on the front straightaway. I believe that he was able to get out there for this one. It's Andrew Bolton on the 128. Take a look at the grid spot, see if we have more riders. They're able to get out there. There's a good look at Jason Uribe. There's Ashton Yates.
Jason just needs to do what he did on the first start. Lead him up out of turn one. He got a really good jump there on the inside, put himself in a really good spot.
Saw JD Beach there on the second row, qualifying in fourth. This is the warm-up lap. JD alone on the second row. The two riders that were involved in the incident that brought out the red flag, Bryce Kornbaugh, Taylor Knapp, also were on that second row. So there's a little bit of a gap there between row 1 and row 3 if you're on the inside.
MotoAmerica Stock 1000 coverage is brought to you by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series, and by MotoAmerica Live Plus. Stream over 100 races per season and much more. Available on mobile, PC, connected TV, Roku, or Apple TV.
Full field coming through on this warm-up lap. Again, as race has been shortened from the original 12 planned laps down to 8. It's nice being able to hear from some of the competitors under that red flag, knowing that their mindset is exactly what we were anticipating, changing the strategy up a bit. Have to get out there and go for it. We know how quickly the laps pass by here at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. It is a very fast racetrack. Stock 1000 hasn't been here since 2022. So first race distance here for a lot of these competitors. There's JD Beach, the number 95 that we were talking about earlier, having practiced and qualified out with Superbikes, taking part in the Superbike Cup for this season, as well as Stock 1000, a teammate to Hayden Gillum. New program for him this year. Great to have him out there on the Stock 1000 grid. Andrew Lee joining forces with Jason Uribe over at Orange Cat Racing. There's a good look at our pole sitter. All right, field is set. Lights are on. And they're out. It is time to race. 8 laps here for Stock 1000 to kick off this championship at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. Another good start from the front row, and you can see they're on the outside. I believe that was Andrew Lee getting alongside of Ashton Yates.
Ashton and Andrew were going side by side, but it's actually JD Beach up there in second, looks like. It is a really good start for JD there from the second row. Ashton there fourth, Andrew Lee third.
The red and blue from the Hondas. Another incident here on the opening lap of Stock 1000. This time the rider able to get up, get to the bike. See if we are able to stay underway. None of these riders up front have any awareness of that incident further back, so we'll continue going with heads down. Jason Uribe leading, and you can see now Andrew Lee being able to get around. JD Beach taking over that second position, so JD Beach falling back into third. Great audio of that incident from our technical partners over at Audio Technica, being able to hear the gravel in that gravel pat. Just catch the rider and catch the bike, not let it go any further. You go back up front and battle between the two Hondas. You got the number 27 of Ashton Yates right there on the tail of JD Beach. With the BMWs just ahead of him, Andrew Lee, our pole sitter. Right behind his teammate, Jason Uribe.
And they had a plan going into the race, the two teammates, and it looks like it's coming to the plan right now. Just Andrew has to close that gap down, but you know, Jason's just riding really well right now in this first sector. You can see he's still trying to pull out a little bit of a gap.
There's Dion Campbell and Jason Waters with that new foot peg on the bike. Two of them staying together. Jason making the move around Dion to slot into 5th place. You look back up front, Jason Uribe with just enough of a gap right now over Andrew Lee. Is that gap too far? Are they able to still work together?
No, he's too far back now. The one thing they can do is continue to try to pull away, and Andrew's not close enough just yet to really get a good plan on that draft. But you can see on the brakes, when you're behind somebody on the brakes here at Road Atlanta on turn 10, you're able to make up a little bit more time. And you see Jason there starting to lose a little bit of rear grip coming up over the hill.
It's Ashton Yates and JD Beach. This is a battle for third. This is a battle to get onto the podium between the two Honda riders. JD holding on to it right now, but Ashton's had a solid weekend and certainly doesn't want to give up any of that momentum that he's been carrying since leading that first practice session. But JD Beach in his first time out here with this platform in the Stock 1000 for the season, proving that he's going to be a contender all season long.
Jason last lap 25.9. That's a new race lap record for Stock 1000. Andrew Lee, his teammate, though, matches him.
A new track record outright, better than the qualifying time at a 1:26.0. So times continuing to fall here at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. Two riders in the 25s. That's great growth over the last couple of seasons, with Stock 1000 not coming out here to compete, but continuing to get quicker and quicker.
Looks like Ashton's going to be able to make the move on JD down into turn 10. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He's able.
Yep, carry it under the bridge. Open up a little bit of a gap coming down the hill. Let's see if we can do under braking as we go onto the long front straightaway. The gap now between the two of them, 0.4 of a second. So
Andrew's closed it down a little bit. You can see right now as they head up into turn 2, he's right there.
He's getting close enough now that the two of them can work together a little bit. And once Ashton got around JD, he's been able to pull out an even bigger gap. Look back to Jason Waters. He was able to get around Dion Campbell when they came past the stripe the last time. It was Campbell leading Waters. You saw Rocco Landers there in the shot as well, staying inside of the top 10. Go back up front. Jason Uribe, number 36, continuing to lead over Andrew Lee. He just had a really good start both times.
and just they're really good at that first lap, and that puts a lot of pressure. As he makes a mistake there in turn 10A, Jason overshot the first part of turn 10 a little bit. You seen he was up on the curb.
That allows Ashton to get closer, but not able. He was looking to the inside, not able to get around him. The gap now 9/100ths of a second as we go to turn 1. Jason Uribe head down, opening it up just a little bit. He's so strong. Coming up turn 1, going up the hill. Look at the gap now, back to 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, they pulled out about 3 seconds on Ashton, so the battle right now for the win looks like it's going to come down between the two teammates unless they start battling and slowing each other up.
And that's where they work together to not let that happen. They had a plan coming in.
Jason pulled out about a half a second in this first sector, so that's the part where Andrew's going to be able to get behind him and know where he's losing some time.
We heard from Andrew Lee earlier today, Roger. One of the things that he said, coming over and joining Jason Uribe, the two of them just being able to work through testing together and really ride together, and they have a great relationship that certainly is going to continue to build over the course of this season. But this being the first race of the season, and could there be team orders? Could there be anything from the top?
I think the team orders would be just don't take each other out. Race hard, race clean, and definitely don't want to take your teammate down. And obviously they work really well together. They have a plan going into this race, and that's great for the team. JD Beach is hanging there pretty close to Ashton Yates, so Ashton's going to have to stay on him. JD might make a little bit of a comeback here toward the end of this race.
With the race being shortened, now only 3 laps to go. We talked about tire wear potentially coming into play at the end of a 12-lap race, but at the end of an 8-lap race, shouldn't be too big of a factor, but these guys have been aggressive from the start.
And also the heat cycle from the first start can also lose a little bit of grip on the rear tire. You can already see Jason and Andrew were in the 25s early, and looks like they've dropped off a couple tenths.
Front, Jason Uribe continuing to lead. He said it earlier, he wants the title this season, and certainly can't win a championship in the first race of the season, but you can give yourself just a little more confidence, a little more going into the rest of the season. And he said it, if we don't go home with the title, we're not even coming back next year. So everything's on the line here in Stock 1000 for 2025.
And Jason is starting to spin a little bit, watching the rear end coming out of, even through the kink off the back straightaway. He was sliding through there a little bit. Andrew Lee's going to be right there behind him and be able to see that. It's part of the track. Jason is really strong, and we'll see if Andrew can make adjustments as this race goes on.
Well, even this lap versus the last lap, you can see how much closer Andrew Lee is to him, even through that first sector where Jason has been better. You can see the gap now to 3rd place, continuing to be held by Ashton Yates. JD Beach still right behind him in 4th, but then the gap back to 5th, still being held by Dion Campbell. These top 4 way separated from the field, nearly over 14 seconds ahead of 5th place.
I think Andrew, this headed into the last lap, he is going to have to stay closer through that 1st and 2nd sector if he's going to want to use this draft pass, as Ashton now has put out a couple tenths on JD there as we have a lap and a half to go.
Take a look at the quickest times up front as we come towards the white flag, Roger. Jason Uribe, his best time, a 1:25.986. Andrew Lee, his best time, a 1:25.987. A thou separating the two teammates as we are now on the final lap of this first race of the 2025 Stock 1000 Championship season. Jason Uribe had a tremendous start, able to get to the lead, while Andrew Lee was the pole sitter. He has sat in second behind his teammate, taking note.
Andrew mentioned today in qualifying that first sector is the one that he has been struggling with all weekend. You can see again, Jason's able to pull out a couple bike lengths. He needs to get closer if he wants to use the draft.
Jason Uribe can't afford to make a mistake here. He's got to keep his head down, do what he has done for the first 7 laps here on the final lap.
Look at Andrew or Jason blocking the inside, gonna make Andrew go around the outside. Just isn't close enough to make a move. Maybe up under the hill, he gets a good run out of turn 11.
Right, they come under the bridge, coming down the hill. Andrew's right there. Is he able to get to the inside? It's gonna be a drag race down the start finish. It's going to go to Andrew Lee taking home the win here at race number 1 in Stock 1000. Jason Uribe having to settle for second, and then Ashton Yates able to bring home the final spot on the podium with the 3rd place finish. That was a tremendous battle between the 2 teammates. You can see Andrew Lee put his head down. He can't believe he was able to execute that pass.
Yeah, and it's been a long road back for Andrew Lee to top of the box, and that was just such a good pass into that last corner. You see here, just letting off a little bit of the brakes, and he was also really respectful to his teammate. He could have ran a little bit wide on the exit of turn 12 here and maybe put Jason off the track a little bit, but look, he gives Jason room to get on the throttle and to come back if he wants.
Side by side to the stripe. It's a photo finish. Take a look how close it was. 9/1000ths of a second between first and second, and Andrew Lee from the pole able to take home the first race win of the season. Going to carry that confidence and that momentum into race number 2 tomorrow afternoon.
It's a dream start of the year for Andrew so far.
Lap number 1, best lap of the race, a 1:25.987. Look at the emotion in his body language.
Just love to see it. All these riders put so much work into it, and for Andrew, last couple years being out of the sport and coming back, and we've mentioned before the race, 2-time Stock 1000 champion, and now he comes back and he's back at the front, and that's why you put all that work in and you stay at it and continue to believe in yourself like Andrew has, and he's fought his way back to the top of the box.
Great camaraderie there. Dion Campbell offering his congratulations, a great top 5 result for him to kick off the season. After all of the race wins and the point that you've made, Roger, the time off and questioning whether or not you can come back out and still get the job done, you can see how much it means to him. He continues to soak it in on this cool down lap, and there's the Orange Cat Racing waiting for their team.
Great run for the team, first and second.
Nice round of applause from the fans that are out here around the racetrack. Not many teams have mascots. That's pretty cool. We're gonna pull into victory lane. Got your mascot waiting for you. This head in his hand, just can't believe the way that this race unfolded. Can't wait to hear what he has to say about that pass. And
you guys went out that way, yeah.
Look at his face. I mean, just the emotion is just really cool to see.
Yes. Good job, dude. Yes, that was a battle and a half. Yes. Jesus Christ.
Fuck him.
Back where you just belong to be, bro. We got you back. We got you back.
Apologies for some of the language being picked up in the background, but these riders get over and celebrate. You see the emotion, it is high for not only the rider, but the teams that put the bikes together, and everyone's worked so hard in the off season to kick this one off in good solid fashion, and congratulations there.
Not only to win the race, but also to win a a scrap like that, a dogfight all the way down to the last corner, those are a little sweeter to win also.
Especially when it's with your teammate. You know the equipment that he has. You know it's the same as what you have.
It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming, man.
It's been a long time coming. You see everybody that's down there in the podium area. I'm not sure that there's a single person down there that has not congratulated Andrew Lee. You can see what it means not only to him, but you know everyone else around him has also taken note of that. But he certainly had to earn this one, and every single race win means something. All right, down in the middle of all of the celebrations and congratulations is our own Joe Ankier. Joe?
Congratulations, Andrew Lee. Wow, that was a race and a finish that had us all gasping. Talk us through what was going through your mind, how you managed to edge it right on the line.
Yeah, I have no idea. Honestly, Jason was riding such a good race. You know, there's a moment I had over 5 that kind of put me in a spot where I didn't think I could make it, and I just kind of tried to hit my marks, and I got a good draft off of them, and you know, I sent a little bit of a Hail Mary. It worked out. I didn't want to do anything too risky first race of the year, but really can't thank my team enough. You know, Orange Cat and Alpha BMW have really put a bike underneath me that we can go out there and win races, and it was almost like I was never going to do it again, so it's nice to be back.
Nice to be back. 6 years since your last race win. What does this mean to you?
It just kind of validates kind of all the work I've put in, and the time off, and you know, sitting on the couch watching people I want to be racing, and you know, Orange Cat took a risk taking me back onto the grid, and you know, I'm happy that I could put him on top of the box.
Congratulations, seeing the emotion there in the face of our race winner, Andrew Lee, and teammate Jason Uribe, smiling for yourself, smiling for your Orange Cat Racing teammate. You virtually had it. A great start coming from 3rd on the grid, leading all the way. Is there anything more you could have done?
Oh, man. Honestly, I just got to give it up to the whole Orange Cat BMW crew. The Alpha BMW M1000R that we got is a rocket ship, and it turns really good, too. So I'm super thankful to be able to ride with them and just have the support of the whole family, everybody out here. Thank you guys so much. And, yeah, it was a good race. I just tried to be smart, hit my marks, like Andrew said. I knew there was going to be somebody there, so I just wanted to be smooth, be fast. I made a mistake. I didn't grab a gear going into turn 10, and I thought I was kind of done at that point. So happy to bring it home, and we'll be stronger tomorrow.
Fantastic. Congratulations on your 2nd place, Jason Uribe. Let's walk it over to 3rd place, final spot on the podium to Ashton Yates. And it was also a battle of the Hondas with JD Beach hot on your tail. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was a good race. There in the beginning, I got a bad start, and I was going to set in behind those guys and just kind of see what would happen. And BMW guys are going pretty good and running strong out there, and got away, and I was able to get by JD and try to make a push, but they were too far ahead of me and not enough laps left. So, but no, it was feeling great. The Honda, Jones Honda, American Honda Progressive machine was ripping, and we'll give it another go tomorrow.
Well, congratulations. You're on the podium. Got to be happy with that. Best of luck in race 2. Congratulations to our podium.
Take a look at the highlights. They were plenty here in just 8 laps, Roger.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Jason Uribe with a really good start there on the front row from the inside, and his teammate right behind him. Then it was the 2 Hondas. This was the first start here where Bryce has his mistake on the exit of turn 3. Had to get the corner workers out there. Taylor Knapp also at top of the hill, turn 2. Now another restart, but same thing again. Jason Uribe, good start, but it's JD Beach that gets a good start, puts himself up there between the BMWs, and then it's the 2 Hondas racing back and forth. Ashton making a couple moves on JD, but having trouble making them stick. Every time he was able to make a move, JD was trying to fight right back. And while all that was going on, we were having a battle. Andrew Lee was chasing down his teammate. Last lap, last corner. What a great pass by Andrew Lee, giving his teammate room on the exit and hanging on and getting the win.
The 12th win of his career for Andrew Lee. 2-time champion back in 2018, 2019, kicking off the 2025 Stock 1000 championship season with a race win. They will race again tomorrow afternoon. They'll get to celebrate this one tonight. Myself and Roger Hayden, we're going to step away. Next out on the racetrack will be Motivation Supersport. Race number 1 here from Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. That call will be brought to you by Greg White, Jason Pridmore, and Hannah Lopa. Don't go anywhere. They'll be back right after this.